And we basically had about 6 months before the presidential primary. So we were able to get them all new equipment, get them all up and working in less than 6 months to be able, for them to be able to do their election. So it was quite a feat working with Harris County on that. Orange County below that, that's 1.5 million registered voters. I think it's 5th or 6th in terms of size county. What's interesting about working in California is they have very, very complex elections. They have, I think, 11 parties. They have 7 different languages. So it's a very complex ballot that you have to build, very complex ballot styles that we're working with. I think in a primary for them, we had over 120,000 different ballot styles for Orange County. So the system's very robust and complex. On the right side there, the two that would be important to you, the first one's Hamilton County. Obviously here in the state of Ohio, we've had a great relationship and very successful elections with Hamilton County. We put our Hart voting system in there in 2006 was the first election they used Hart InterCivic. And then they have already signed up to buy the new Verity equipment. So we're in contract talks with them. They're buying the exact system that you would see here today. So we've actually got products sitting in Kentucky waiting to be delivered to them. So we're very excited about that and the relationship we have with them. And then Oakland County, that's one of our newest larger customers. That's basically a suburb of Detroit. They have just recently bought, I think they've run 2 elections, maybe 3, with the equipment, and it is the exact kind of equipment that you're seeing here today. It's digital scanner with an ADA device in each precinct, or each polling location. So we do 2 statewide installations as well, and I bring these up because they are completely different. The state of Oklahoma, they have kind of a different version of Verity, but it is the Verity equipment. They bought the equipment, we shipped in the equipment, we trained them, we trained all their poll workers, and they basically said, thank you, Hart, we appreciate it, and I want you to go on back to Texas, and we will call you when we need you. So we're very hands-off. Every county within the state programs their own ballots. They all put out all the equipment. They do everything from starting of the ballot to counting the votes. The only time they need us is when they call. We have nobody in the state during the election time by their request. So very hands-off. But you look at the state of Hawaii, they are very hands-on. We are very hands-on. It's basically a 100% turnkey type election process. We build the ballot for them. We train all the poll workers. We even rent the space where we store our equipment. And then we're take part in delivering all of the equipment out to the polling locations. And I'll tell you, in Hawaii, that could be quite interesting. With 7 islands, we have folks that their equipment has to be delivered by airplane, landing on the water. Kind of cool, but also kind of scary. And then we bring all that equipment back in, we count all the votes, we release all the reports. Now obviously they're supervising everything we do, but totally different style obviously than what we're doing in Oklahoma. I would imagine you guys would fall somewhere in between, obviously not wanting zero support, but I'm assuming you probably don't need quite the total white glove experience that Hawaii requires. So customer satisfaction is really important for us. You know, any equipment that you are looking at, all the equipment that you're looking at these 3 days, it all works. You're going to eventually learn how to use it. Your poll workers, your public are eventually going to learn how to set up the equipment. They're going to learn how to vote on it. They're going to learn to get comfortable with your voting equipment. But the real issues happen is, you know, when there are issues, who's going to be there to support you? How is that support going to be done? And are you going to have a good partnership? You're going to choose equipment now, and you're stuck with this vendor for the next 15 years. It's a total marriage, right, between the vendor, and the county. So every year we survey all of our customers, and we want to know, tell us how it's going. You know, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? And 95% of our customers rate our customer service as excellent or above average. So we're very proud of that. A bigger number for you guys is talking about, we've had in the last survey about 40 new customers, and then in the last 2 years we're up to about 60 to 70 new customers. And every one of those customers in our most recent survey, which was done at the end of 2017, we're now doing 2018. At the end of 2017, rated Hart better than the vendor they left from. So we're very excited about that fact. We take customer service very seriously. Like I say, it's where the rubber really meets the road with an election system and a partnership between the county and the vendor. And I think if you would ask Hamilton County, they're definitely in that 95% range, that they very much appreciate what we've done for them and how our elections have been here in Ohio. So I want to quickly go over the Hart method before we get into the equipment. You know, whatever system you choose, even if you go with your current vendor, there's going to be some changes that are going to be done. And as I said, you're going to figure out the equipment, your voters are going to figure out the equipment, but there's really a change management process that the county, the poll workers, the voters, it's just change. And people are always a little hesitant to change, a little bit worried. So we've really put together a method that we call the Hart method to make sure that that change goes as smooth as possible. So phase one is you would have a dedicated project manager that would be dedicated to Cuyahoga County, would be on site during election times. We like to call that person really one throat to choke. Anytime you need somebody, he's there, she's there to be able to get the information you need. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to really do scope definition. And that really says, okay, this is what you're doing now. You're bringing in the Hart equipment. What's going to be different? You know, what processes are going to be different? What changes need to be made? Are different staff maybe better suited to do something with our equipment that they might not be doing with their older equipment, okay? So then they're going to take that scope definition, they're going to create the business process analysis of BPA, and that's really just putting all that scope definition on paper. And then from that becomes the project plan, which is really the most important thing that gets created between Hart and Cuyahoga County. So you basically say, okay, when is our election? And then we back it up from there. What are the milestones that we need to be most concerned about? At the start, we got contract signing, we got acceptance testing, then we have training of the inside staff, we have training of the poll workers. So where in that project plan does that all fit? That'll be all documented. And it's really important that the Hart person keeps you guys on track, and you guys got to help keep the project manager on track. It's a total partnership to make sure the election goes smoothly. As we said, this is some of the important things: delivering acceptance, initial on-site training. So there's not only obviously training of the poll workers, but you're going to have training of the staff. You have folks that need to be trained on the software. How do we build a ballot? There's folks that need to be trained on the absentee system. How do we work the absentee system? How do we do mail-outs, things like that? And then you have folks that are working with the equipment. How do we put election information onto the system? How are we going to ship that equipment out to the county? All those folks need to be trained, and that's part of the process. And then you have obviously the training of the poll workers. We like to do a train the trainer method where we will train different folks here within the county admin here in Cuyahoga, and they can go and train the poll workers. We find that's the best way. Because on election, when you're doing your poll worker training, you're not just training on the Hart system. You're doing your poll book, you're doing maybe some legislative changes that have happened. So you need to kind of integrate that into a poll worker training. We'll help you guys do that kind of with the train the trainer method. And then there's voter education. Won't be quite as drastic for you guys, since you guys are already a paper county and you're looking to either change to a different vendor that does paper. So it's not going to be a drastic change for the voter, but there are definitely some voters out there that are concerned, organizations that you need to get to. We'll help you with that process. Who do we think, who do you guys think are the best people to go out and talk to within the community? And then we have lots and lots of media that you can use, that you could put in the name of Cuyahoga County, whether that's videos, whether that's website material, whether that's handouts that you want to put out. We have all that material that we can give to you guys, and you can kind of turn it into your own, if that makes sense. And then phase 3 is really, we're getting pretty close to go live. We need to make sure election data is into the system. All our contests, all our candidates are correctly entered into the software. Election day field support, especially for a county your size, is very important. What happens first election when poll workers may just freeze up working with new equipment? We need to have a plan to make sure that we can get to different precincts very quickly. And what is that plan? What is our field support for that day? And then there's election night reporting. Obviously you have certain reports that you have to get up to the state, but we also want to know, what do your constituents want? What reporting do you want to get out maybe every 30 minutes, hourly? How do you want to see that report? We want to make sure that's in the correct